And now here's your host. It's the Donald.
Thank you. Let's get tonight's festivities started. Here's the first prize.
It's a trip to North Korea. You and the guests can stay at the luxurious Trump Palace in Pyongyang. Enjoy 7 nights of this hidden wonder. Take part in a basketball game, tour the slave labor camps, and visit their world-famous nuclear test sites. The trip includes a one-way flight and a free donkey rental. All this can be yours if your price is right.
You mean the Donald is right?
Oh, sorry, boss.
Whatever. Now that's a huge prize. Ditzy, you're looking sexy today. What's your bid?
Hi, Don. I'll pass. And thank you for the compliment.
Gordy, welcome to the show.
Oh, hello, eh?
So what's your bid?
I bid $800, eh?
Hopefully that's an American. $800 to the Canadian. Mr. Martinez, welcome to the show.
Oh, man, I'm happy to be here, man. Buenos dias.
Yeah, and bony tacos to you too. What's your bid?
Oh, I bid $1, man.
That's it? Just $1? That sound, ladies and gentlemen, means one of our contestants has hit the number exactly. That's so huge. Now let's find out who's the winner. Could I have the envelope, please? Thank you, Stormy. Oh, this is huge. The price is $1. Mr. Martinez, you're the winner.
What you mean I win with $1, man? I didn't want to win that.
That's how it goes. Here's your escort. Ice, take him away.
Oh, man, I want to stay, man. Call for more, man.
Thanks for coming, Mr. Martinez.
Hey, man, this is entrapment, man.
Enjoy your trip.
Hey, man, don't take my shoes, man. Annika, man, Annika.
See what happens when you make deals with countries? They get our Mexicans, we get their nukes. Now we're down to our final 2 contestants. And since she's got bigger boobs than you, I'm gonna fire you. She wins.
I'm a contestant, eh?
Well, I'm firing you as a contestant. Now get out of here before I deport your ass back to Canada.
This is a bogus show, eh?
Listen, I've had it with you. Ice, take him away. Throw him in the river and let him swim back to Canada. Ditzy, you're the big winner. And for winning, you get to have a job at the White House, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I never win anything.
You're a big league winner. That's it, ladies and gentlemen, for this huge show. Thank you for listening. See you next time. Come on, Ditzy. Let me grab you in your
Well, at least her boobies are looking good. What just happened?
I think you just lost your girlfriend.
Oh, no, that's terrible.
Well, that's what happens when you don't have money. Doesn't matter how old the D is. As long as it's producing, the women like it.
What do you mean by the D?
That's probably another reason why you lost her.
Oh, I feel terrible.
Don't worry about it. Something else will come along, I'm sure.
You think so?
Either that or you can get a camel. I need another beer.
You're listening to the John Lebang Show.
It's hydroponic radio for your brain, man. Feel smarter yet?
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in this fine evening. As we are in this variety hour, we do a little different stuff, and I wanted to talk about something that was interesting to me. Apparently, there's a movement to build a floating island that, like 300 households will be on, and it'll just be this island floating out in the ocean there. And they're going to have their own government and their own cryptocurrency. I don't know how they're going to survive exactly. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of details that are still in the works. But they think it's going to cost like $50 million. And they think it's going to be done by 2022, which is not that far off. And the reason I bring this up is to get a conversation going, get my thoughts going as well. Would you, if you could afford this type of thing, would you want to seclude yourself on an island that floats in the ocean with 300 other households. Would you want to do this sort of thing? Could you do this? Would the escape from the modern world be worth the investment into a place like this? And could you deal with the weather that would come in? And I would, this is just me, but I would imagine that this island per se, this floating island, would be a lot like a boat where it would rock when the seas got rough or a hurricane came in. A group of people want to start this venture out. I don't know. Would you do this? I'm not opposed to secluding yourself. I'm not exactly a fan of being on a floating island per se. I think there are just way too many. I mean, and if you get a nut job on the island, some kind of psychopathic killer, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to run to. And how do you vet the people that can be a part of this floating community? Like, it's okay if you're, starting something, I don't want to call it a commune, even though this would be like a floating commune, but like a commune somewhere out in like the desert somewhere, or maybe in the mountains of Montana or North Dakota or wherever, somewhere secluded from the big city life and all the dangers that might come with it. I do understand that point of view. Sure, we would, a lot of us anyways, would like that kind of seclusion. A lot of other people wouldn't even consider this because of the fact that, they like the social world and maybe, they enjoy being part of these larger communities, the diversity that's born from these big communities like New York and stuff like this. But the people that want to go on an island and live there, a floating island. See, I might think of it differently if I could buy an island somewhere too, and it's a stable island. You do your, you make sure it's not going to sink in the ocean or no volcano's going to blow up on you, like they have in Hawaii. My goodness, looks like that's going to go on forever. Let's hope not. But I could understand even a island situation where it was a actual island made of earth, and it was surrounded with water, but a floating island, to me, there's so many dangers with that, and I don't know how many ships can handle the vast weather conditions that happen in the middle of the ocean. And again, you start going into, if one of these people are psychotic, there's nowhere to go, there's nowhere to run. But again, I'm leaving it up to you, my listener. Would you want to be a homeowner? I guess you're going to call it a commune member on a floating island in the middle of the ocean. It's going to cost you a lot of money because for 300 homes split up $500 million, that's a lot of money to just be putting into a floating island. And, sure, there'll be in international waters, but the island's going to have its own government, which means it's going to have a jail too, and it's going to have its laws. And if you break the laws, then you're going to be put in jail. What do they throw you off the island if you break too many jails? Or they just throw you in the ocean? And then who gets to run the island on top of that? You're going to have a hierarchy of what are you going to have we start over with the whole political system, and you'll just start your own political. You have two parties there. You have 150 homes in one party, 150 homes in the other party. I don't know if I would be up for that. If it was an island where I could not have 500 people, but a secluded situation where I could have access to that and still be close enough to reach mainland if I needed to escape, that would be one thing. But the idea of just floating on an island created by man, which means you're going to have people on the island to, take care of maintenance, even the underwater maintenance. because when you're talking about some kind of floating apparatus, you've got to make sure I don't know for certain, but you got to make sure the water doesn't get in somehow, right? Doesn't sink it, doesn't capsize it when there's giant weather situations like hurricanes or something like that. So I thought that was very interesting that people would want to just be part of that. Then there's the situation with the police are now law enforcement is now trying to get laws passed so that the average person cannot listen in on the police scanners. And the only thing I can think of with that is they're worried that things like the Las Vegas shooting, and I'm not just saying in the Vegas shooting, I think they don't want anybody on the scenes filming them or recording these things because things are said between cops that they want to keep private. And if these police scanner frequencies are available to anybody and it's not illegal, a lot of things can be used against you. And that's great. It's always that way with government law enforcement. They're trying to protect themselves from the evidence being turned against them, yet they'll do the exact same thing. They'll turn evidence against people left and right just so they can convict you or get you in a plea bargain against somebody else, or turn state's evidence and or whatever. So we've got that. Another thing that is in the news this week was the 36-year-old lady who was accused of having sex with a 15-year-old boy 6 times a day. And then apparently she started selling his body out to the highest bidder so they could get drugs. And the kid apparently liked banging the lady 6 times a day. That was fun. And then when she started bringing people in, it doesn't sound like he didn't have any fun with other women. It sounds like when it got to the point where she was like, come on, have sex with men because we can make money to do this, because I guess men weren't wanting to have sex with her or something, that's when that became a problem. That's kind of what we talked about in the first hour. We're so screwed up in the country that we have these kind of things happening. And where's the 15-year-old, where's his parents, on that? One more thing before we go to break here. Now we know what will happen when the sun dies. And this is a cool article I'll make available on the website. We don't have a lot of time to get into it. But they believe it's going to turn into a nebula, a planetary nebula. And it's, according to scientists, one of the most beautiful things. I don't know how they're going to prove this will happen, because when the sun dies, we're all going to die, and I'm probably not going to be here, and you're not going to be here, and it's not really going to matter to many of us. And then, it's millions of years away or so before it runs out. I think they're thinking 5 billion years. So I like when scientists predict these things that really will not affect us. It doesn't matter. I think they just do it so they can get themselves in some kind of scientific research paper. And that's it. So we got to take a quick break, folks. I'll leave this story and the other stories available on the website. And when we return, we're going to talk the best 100 albums of all time. And in the fourth segment, we're going to get into what is next with the Avengers after Infinity War. I know it's a little different topics this evening, but that's okay, because we're in the John Lebang Show Variety Hour, and that's what we do. Now sit your butt down.
The John Lebang Show will be right back.
And I promise you'll love it. Yes. I'd like to take a quick second here to tell you about our new sponsor, Quality One Painting. For interior and exterior painting needs, call Tom at Quality One, 313-982-2986. Tom will give you free estimates, senior discounts, and I can tell you from meeting the gentleman, he's one of the nicest guys on the face of the planet. So for a quality paint job with a professional attitude, call Tom at Quality One Painting. That's 313-982-2986. 313-982-2986. Quality One Painting. Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the